Love yourself a lot. If you're feeling more like roommates than lovers, I'm about to share the one thing that changes everything in your relationship. And it's not what you think. Stay until the end because the last step literally saved my clients' marriages and it takes less than 5 minutes a day. Let's dive in. One, let's talk about something that honestly makes or breaks relationships, and that's emotional intimacy. You know that feeling when you're lying next to your partner but somehow feel a million miles apart, or when you're talking but not really connecting. That's what happens when emotional intimacy starts fading. And trust me, it's more common than you think. The good news is that strengthening emotional intimacy isn't some mysterious art that only therapists understand. It's actually a skill you can develop with simple, practical steps that fit right into your everyday life. Think of emotional intimacy as the invisible thread that keeps you and your partner genuinely connected, not just physically or romantically, but on a deep, soulful level where you truly know each other. When you have a strong emotional intimacy, you're not just sharing a bed or a home, you're sharing your fears, dreams, vulnerabilities, and authentic self without the fear of judgment. This connection becomes your relationship's foundation, the thing that helps you weather storms, celebrate victories together, and feel genuinely seen and understood by another human being. So, if you've been feeling disconnected lately or wanna take your relationship from good to absolutely amazing, stick with me because we're diving into real actionable strategies that actually work in the messy, beautiful reality of daily life together. Two, the first game changer in building emotional intimacy is creating what I call a scared conversation spaces. And no, I don't mean you need candles and meditation music. Also, hey, if that's your thing, go for it. What I'm talking about is intentionally setting aside time where you and your partner can talk without distractions. And I mean real distractions like phones, TV, kids interrupting, or your mind wandering. To tomorrow's to-do list, here's what this looks like in real life. Maybe it's 50 minutes every evening after dinner where you both sit down with a cup of tea or coffee and just check in with each other about your day, your feelings, and what's weighing on your mind. Or maybe it's a weekly date night where phones are literally put away in the car and you commit to being fully present with each other. The magic isn't in the setting, it's in the consistency and the quality of attention you give each other. When your partner is sharing something with you, practice active listening, which means you're not just waiting for your turn to talk or merely preparing your response while they're speaking. Instead, you're really hearing them and making eye contact and nodding, asking follow-up questions that show you're genuinely interested in understanding their perspective and feelings. There's a simple practice when done regularly creates a safe emotional space where both of you feel valued, heard, and important enough to deserve each other's undivided attention. Quick pause. If this is heading home for you right now, smash that like button and subscribe because we drop relationship game changers like this every single day. Your future self will thank you. And now let's keep going. 3. Now let's talk about vulnerability because this is where emotional intimacy either flourishes or dies. Most of us have been taught to hide our weaknesses, to put on a brave face, to never let them see you sweat, right? But here's the truth that might surprise you. Vulnerability is actually the birthplace of connection and intimacy. When you share your fears, insecurities, doubts, and the parts of yourself you usually keep hidden, you're essentially saying to your partner, I trust you with the real me, not just the polished version I show the world. And when your partner responds with empathy, understanding, and acceptance rather than judgment or dismissal, something beautiful happens. You feel safer, more connected, and more willing to open up even further. It's a small if this feel scary. Maybe share something you're worried about at work, a fear you have about the future, or even an insecurity you've been carrying since childhood. The key is authenticity without dumping or overwhelming your partner with everything at once. Pay attention to how they respond, and equally important, when your partner opens up to you, resist the urge to immediately fix their problem or minimize their feelings. Sometimes people don't need solutions, they just need to be heard and validated. Practice saying things like that sounds really difficult, or I can understand why you'd feel that way, instead of jumping straight into advice mode. This mutual vulnerability creates a feedback loop of trust that deepens your emotional connection exponentially over time. 4. Here's something most people miss about emotional intimacy. It's built in the small everyday moments way more than in the big romantic gestures. Don't get me wrong, surprises and special occasions are wonderful, but emotional intimacy grows in the mundane, ordinary interactions that happen when you're brushing your teeth together, cooking dinner, or driving to the grocery store. These are the moments when you can strengthen your connection by showing genuine interest in your partner's inner world. Ask questions that go beyond how was your day and beg a little deeper, like what was the best part of your day, or did anything frustrate you today that you want to talk about, or what are you looking forward to tomorrow? These questions invite your partner to share more than surface level information. They invite emotional sharing. Also practice what a therapist call a turning table instead of turning away from your partner's bits for connection. A bit for connection is any attempt your partner makes to get your attention, affection, or support. It could be as simple as them saying, look at this funny video, or I had such a weird dream last night. When you respond positively, put down your phone, laugh with them, ask about the dream. You're strengthening intimacy. When you ignore it or give this massive response, you're creating a distance. The beautiful thing is that you get dozens of these opportunities every single day to choose connection, and over time, these small choices compound into a deeply intimate relationship where both people feel consistently valued and attended to. 5. Let's get real about something that kills emotional intimacy faster than almost anything else: unresolved resentment and avoiding difficult conversations. And you know what I'm talking about? Those issues you sweep under the rug because bringing them up seems too hard, too awkward, or too risky. Maybe it's something your partner does that bothers you, or a need that's not being met, or hurt feelings from something that happened weeks or months ago. Here's the problem: when you don't address these things, they don't just disappear, they accumulate and create an invisible wall between you and your partner. Strengthening emotional intimacy requires a brave, honest communication about the hard stuff, not just the easy, pleasant topics. The key is learning to have these conversations from a place of wanting to understand and be understood rather than wanting to win or prove you're right. Use I statements instead of you accusations, like I feel hurt when plans change last minute without discussion instead of you never consider my feelings. When you change plans, approach conflicts as you and your partner versus the problem, not you versus your partner. When you create an environment where difficult emotions and topics can be discussed safely without fear of explosive arguments or being shut down, you're building the kind of trust that allows your intimacy to flourish. Remember, conflict itself isn't the enemy of intimacy. It's how you handle conflict that either brings you closer or pushes you apart. And when you navigate it with respect, honesty, and a genuine desire to understand each other, you often come out the other side feeling more connected than before. Drop a comment right now. What's one thing you wish your partner understood about you without you having to explain it? I read every single comment and I'll reply to yours. Sex, physical touch that's non-sexual, is an incredibly powerful tool for building emotional intimacy, and this is something a lot of couples overlook once they get past the honeymoon phase. I'm talking about holding hands while you're watching TV, a hug that lasts longer than 30 seconds, cuddling on the couch without it leading to sex, a gentle touch on the shoulder when you're walking past each other, or playing with your partner's hair while you're talking. This form of affectionate touch releases oxytocin, which is literally called the bonding hormone because it creates feelings of connection, safety, and trust. The key word here is non-sexual, because when all physical touch is a gateway to sex, it can actually create distance, with one partner avoiding touch because they're not always in the mood for sex and the other partner feeling rejected. Make it a point to incorporate a more affectionate, non-sexual touch into your daily routine. Kiss each other goodbye in the morning and hello when you get home. Not just a peck, but a real kiss. Sit close to each other instead of on opposite ends of the couch. Initiate physical closeness without any expectation or agenda beyond Just being close to the person you love. This consistent physical connection creates a sense of safety and a belonging that supports emotional intimacy beautifully. It's like a continuous reminder that you're a team, you're together, and you care about each other, communicated through something as simple as a touch. And for those of you whose love language isn't physical touch, this might feel awkward at first, but I encourage you to try it anyway because the benefits for your relationship are worth stepping outside your comfort zone. 7. One aspect of emotional intimacy that doesn't get talked about enough is sharing your inner world beyond just current events and feelings. I'm talking about your dreams, fears, values, what gives your life meaning, and how you see the world. These deeper conversations about philosophy, purpose, spirituality, goals, and what matters most to you create profound connection because they reveal who you are at your core. Set aside time, maybe once a week or even once a month, to have these bigger picture conversations with your partner. Ask questions like, what do you want your life to look like 5 years from now? Or what's something you believe as a kid that you don't believe anymore? Or if you could change one thing about the world, what would it be? These conversations might feel heavy or intimidating at first, but they're actually incredibly bonding because they help you understand not just what your partner does or feels day to day, but how they are fundamentally as a person. As you both grow and evolve throughout your relationship, these conversations ensure you're growing together rather than apart. They also create shared meaning in your relationship, which research shows is one of the strongest predicators of long-term satisfaction and connection. Additionally, make it a practice to share your appreciation for your partner regularly, not just for what they do, but for who they are. Tell them specifically what you admire about their character, how they've impacted your life positively, or what you've learned from them. This kind of acknowledgement creates emotional safety and reinforces that you truly see and value your partner as an individual, which is fundamental to deep emotional intimacy. 8. Finally, let's talk about something crucial that ties all of this together: consistency and patience. Strengthening emotional intimacy isn't a one-time thing or even a one-month project. It's an ongoing practice that requires daily attention and intention. Some days you'll nail it, having amazing conversations and feeling deeply connected, and other days you'll be tired, stressed, distracted, and barely manage to exchange a few words that are about logistics. That's completely normal and okay. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress and consistency over time. Think of emotional intimacy like physical fitness. You don't go to the gym once and expect to be in shape forever. You have to keep showing up regularly, and some workouts are better than others, but they all contribute to your overall health. The same applies to your relationship. Keep showing up for those sacred conversation spaces even when you're tired. Keep being vulnerable even when it's scary. Keep asking deeper questions even when small talk would be easier. Keep choosing connection in those small everyday moments even you'd rather zone out on your phone. And here's the beautiful part: as you consistently practice these intimacy building habits, they become easier and more natural, and the connection between you and your partner depends in ways that transform your entire relationship. You'll find yourself feeling more secure, more understood, more appreciated, and more in love, not just with the idea of your partner, but with the real, complex, wonderful human being they actually are. So start today. Pick one or two strategies from what you've talked about and commit to them, and watch as your relationship transforms from surface level coexistence into the kind of deep, meaningful partnership that makes life truly rich and fulfilling. If you made it this far, you're serious about your relationship, and I respect that. And now, here's your challenge, and send this video to your partner right now. Seriously, do it, because real change happens when you're both on the same page. Your next video is right here, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.